Hi, I am Marnita Harris. I'm the Vice President of Economic Equity and Inclusion here at the Detroit Regional Chamber. I'm happy to be here with Avinash Rachmale, who is the CEO and Chairman of Lakeshore Global Corporations. We will spend time today discussing why economic equity and inclusion is important for business. Avinash, thank you for taking the time to contribute to this series. How are you today?
Good morning, Marnita. I'm doing well. Thank you. Thank you.
Good, good. So, can you take a moment to talk a little bit about you and your background?
Yes, I've been in Detroit. My name is Avinash Rachmale, as Marnita said. I've been in business for last 25 plus years in Detroit here. Our business started in Detroit in 1994. And since then, I'm here in Detroit. And I'm really passionate about Detroit and Detroit's growth and what Detroit is doing from last 10 years. So all our company's growth has happened right from Detroit. We are now a national firm. In fact, we did work internationally. We are a general contractor doing environment, infrastructure work, environment, facility management, and water wastewater. So we have approximately 700 plus employees. Our Detroit workforce is almost 200, 250 employees, and we are really excited about the Detroit's growth and all this economic inclusion and diversity, and we are pretty proactive in that one.
Yes. And so I want to get, as we get into our talk, I wanted you to talk about your program that you told me about, but we'll get to that later. I'm going to just start off and say, why does economic equity and inclusion matter to your organization, and why is it important to the Detroit region?
We've been in Detroit, not only Detroit region, but I think all over the country also. It is very important because specifically for me, I serve in the areas where underserved areas, such as some of the Detroit areas, some of the Flint, some of the areas where you see the population had gone down and economic development was not there, and job opportunities was not there. So looking at the local demographics, uh, we promote hiring the local residents. We give preference to the locals, and if you look at it, every individual brings something to the table. It is you are looking at different races, but everybody has their talent. So if you look at woman inclusion in the business, or African Americans, or Asians, or Hispanic, um, the certain areas. Let's say we do work in water wastewater. Some people have less skills, some people have higher skills. If you look at the demographically, the people who are less empowered, they have probably less education. So you need to make sure that those guys get certain trainings and get jobs. In our organization, we don't do the high tech work, but we do laying pipes, we build water treatment plants, we build sewer lines. So the inclusion as a Hispanic or African Americans or Asian, it's very important because they bring different kind of talents to the.
Yes. And how can you just talked about the benefit because there are different talents that they bring to the table. How can an organization, or tell me how your organization uses that diversity and and the different talents to help your organization grow and
That's a
thrive?
that's a great question. Um, if you look at what we do, we are a contractor. We construct. We have a need of people from the field level. the field guys which do the field labor work. Then we have little highly technical people. Then we have engineering people. Then we have clerical. Then we have proposal writers and technicians. We which do the more like computer kind of work. So if you look at that, the diversity what we have in the work
Mhm.
diversity. If I go to we are a big sponsor for the students from Wayne State University of Wayne State University. So when you go to Wayne State University, you see if you look at the engineering group, you will see all the Asians in the engineering group. Okay.
Okay.
Then, if you go to probably some of the lower trade skills, you will see the Hispanics or African Americans. And if you
Mhm.
look at the business development, and if you look at the clerical and little less skill, you will see the other minorities in that one.
Mhm.
So everybody brings something to the table. Okay,
Mhm.
if I'm hiring engineer, you know that I always look for the woman engineer because there is a
Mhm.
shortage of women because all male engineers are there. They are thinking in the same direction. I
Right.
need somebody a diversity there, a female. So we look for the female. We look for the minorities. We look for the Hispanics. So uh, this there are various skills we are using in the various categories.
Mhm.
So that's how we are integrating all my the workforce on the job sites. You will see the low education. Those are morely Hispanics, or you can see some of the African Americans, some of those local Caucasians.
Mhm.
So if you come to my office, you will see the variety of them. We are probably most diverse company in Michigan.
Okay. And so I'm gonna go from that because when you say the lower education, are you saying just have the high school graduates and not really, or have our certificates? They hold certificates or in a skill trade and that type of thing. And so are those the is that the talent that you put through your program so they can learn more things about different areas of your
Yes.
workspace?
So yes, what we have our local training. In fact, we are building a training center for our
Oh,
own employees.
okay.
We have already completed the construction of the building. Now we are looking at other factors. But
Oh,
we don't have to wait for our building to complete. But we are doing this process from last 10 years. Like
okay.
we hire, let's say some laborer comes to us. Okay, has no
Mhm.
skills. We will train him on our job site, and then we encourage them to take the licenses in such as electrical
Okay.
license, such as plumbers,
Mhm.
such as pipe layer, bricklayer. So those are things people we are promoting, and we've been doing that. Cause not only that, we go in the inner cities here, and some of the people have previous records, small
Mhm.
record. They have a
Okay.
but they don't find a job. So we
Mhm.
have trained those people. We have given them opportunity. Some of those people have become managers now in our company, and they are leading some of the groups. So I'm really happy about that.
Oh, well, that is great. So that just answered the question of how Lakeshore Global is contributing, to a more economical and equitable region. Because what you're doing is you're taking um, returning citizens, you're taking talent that doesn't have certain skill sets and providing them the opportunity, to learn something new that would also, give them more pay, which helps, close the equity gap in the community of which you reside. And so that is very, very important work. And I'm
Mhm.
so I was gonna say I'm glad you're doing it because I'm from the city of Detroit, so I love to see, investment into the people, as well as into the buildings and into the business. But investment into the community is important. So thank you for that. Um, what do you think? If you were to, if if I was coming to you as a business just starting out, or really wanted to integrate equity and inclusion into our daily practices, what would you recommend that I would do as a business?
Um, what we do here, I'm going to talk about what we do here. Then
Mm-hmm.
I can advise few things to the other businesses. So when you are recruiting people, you gotta look at your company's demographic, where we are. Let's say there are all. Let's say in my company, uh, if you look at if you come to my offices, you will see the engineering side. You will see a lot more Asians, because those are because very hard to find engineering talent, which is kind of because a lot of those immigrants are coming here as those are engineers, doctors, and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Those are, but
Mm-hmm.
the people here, local people are, I see less in the master's program and PhD programs. So there's some places we need those kind of people. Okay, so the way we look at it, that from a hiring perspective, if I need somebody in Detroit area, right? I look at the
Mm-hmm.
Detroit demographics, and then we see that what kind of workforce we have right now, and they say sometimes or most of the time I see that we don't have uh, lady engineers, or we don't have African American engineers. So specifically, we give instruction to our HR department that priority should be given to that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I think unless you give that initiatives to your HR department and your managers and your vice president, this diversity is not going to happen by itself. You have to have that culture built in our organization, and that's what we do. We look across the company that, hey, where we are falling behind, and then
Mm-hmm.
that initiative should be given to them. And in certain areas, let's say certain cities or certain federal agencies have a advantage for businesses to hire this kind of people,
Okay.
such as in the city of Detroit, for example. We are doing mentoring programs with the small businesses, micro businesses, African
Mm-hmm.
American businesses, economically disadvantaged businesses. So when you are working with the city, they call it equalization points we get.
Okay.
So in that,
Yes,
even though
that's a
I'm
good
a
program.
5% higher than other contractor, other competitor, I will still win the job because I have included all this inclusion in my bid,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm doing a training and mentoring. So right now we are mentoring quite a few people, quite a few companies. In Detroit
That's
area, I
awesome.
think approximately we are mentoring 6 or 7 companies, small
That's
companies,
awesome.
woman-owned business, Hispanic business, African American-owned business. What See, in last few years, there's so much tremendous money came from the federal government, state, to improve the infrastructure, such as lead line is one of the things, improving the water lines, sewer lines, and all
Mm-hmm.
that. And small businesses, they don't have the working capital, they don't have the know-how. So what we did, we assembled those 6, 7 businesses, and and we are training them. Now I some of the guys are now getting prime contract from the city, because
That's
we
great.
we train them. So that kind of thing. So there is a value. There's a tremendous value. Same thing with the federal government. If you have a inclusion, if you have a minority, you get certain points for that. If you are a historically underutilized business districts, you get certain points for that. I think all the agencies are doing it. I think Great Lakes Water Authority is also has a called a BID inclusion program,
Mm-hmm.
but that program really need to be more strengthened, because that is like a entire region. I think they have to focus a little
Okay.
bit on the Wayne County or something like that. I think that, but City of Detroit is doing great.
Okay. And so I'm going to close with this question here. How does these economic equity and inclusion practices and initiatives affect your bottom line as a business, and can affect a business's bottom line?
Um, as I said earlier, that winning the project, you have advantage. Okay, and when you are bidding the project, and if you have this kind of micro joint ventures, you have mentor protege relationship, you have advantage over other businesses to winning the project. That's one way.
Mhm.
Other way, if you look at it, that I'm training this all what do you call minorities and
Mhm.
underserved people from underserved communities. So when I hire them, I'm not hiring them at 30 $40 an hour. Okay, I'm
Mhm.
hiring them as a training level. So in fact, they are doing work, and we are also still making money that time. But
Mhm.
we are paying them training wages, right? Once
Mhm.
they stay in the system for 2 years, then we are promoting them to next level. So next 2 years, you are using them as a trainee. We are teaching them, but still company is making money. If
Mhm.
otherwise, I would have hired a $50 an hour guy, but now I
Mhm.
can do it with $25. But still, I have to put some time on it. But still, it is advantage to the company. So,
And and
mhm.
it's an advantage to the training
Mhm.
person, the person in the training program, because they're learning, they're getting a new skill, and they're advancing from when they're started. Correct.
Yes, that's not only
Mhm.
that. The loyalty for those guys are a lot higher. Because
Okay.
I have guys working for my company for 20 plus years.
Okay.
20
Yes.
plus years. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Because
So
it's like it's not like you've invested into them. So they are, first off, once you invest into someone, that means you not so much just invested, but you're vested in them. And so when you have that feeling with the organization, the employees like, okay, I'm going to stay here. Not only did I come here without this skill set, but I've learned something, and I've learned something that has helped me take care of myself and my family. So that is a great way to transition, especially when you have returning citizens and folks that need access to, education, access to skill sets. So that's very important.
yeah, I think you can one of these days you can interview one of my manager how he has grown. He used to first he came to us. He was just picking the garbage around our building. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but he had some past record. So
Mm-hmm.
but he had a desire that he wants to learn. So we
Mm-hmm.
taught him. We eventually he became the manager. He's a manager now of one of the group, and
That's great.
he manages almost probably 50 to 60 people. That's his
That's
yeah,
awesome. That
yeah,
is awesome. Oh yes, I would,
yeah,
just would like to talk to him. That
yeah,
would be great. Just to
yeah.
hear that story
Mm.
of, and when you told me about your program, I was like, wow, that is great. It's so much that a lot of businesses are doing. And that's what I think is very important. And what the chamber think is very important is that businesses invest into the community in which they're residing and
Mhm.
helping to close equity gaps. And that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing at Lakeshore Global. So really appreciate it. I appreciate you taking the time today to answer my question as for us to have this conversation, and for you joining this series, thought leadership from leaders who are actually doing the work. I think it's helpful to other business to know and hear. So I really appreciate your time today.
Thank you, Marnita. I think Chamber is doing great work. I see the lot of things Chamber has promoted and that helped businesses like us.
You're welcome. Thank you, and thank you for your partnership.
Okay, thank you again. Yeah, bye.
Okay, bye bye.